Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this new now and ever expanding present moment, a moment where we meet each other simultaneously inside and outside of all time, in our very human nature and our eternal nature, together as one. It is my greatest honor and deepest joy to welcome Nina and Ward into this place and into this space as we enter into a co-creational conversation that has brought us together into this moment. And before I share anything or create even a little bit more context, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to all of those that is going to attune to this very sacred and sovereign transmission, just to give an indication of who you are and where do we find you on this beautiful planetary home we get to call Gaia Sophia.
Well, we are both based in Belgium, you can say that. And I myself, I'm a psychologist. At least I once studied psychology, but also a body-based worker and an energy worker, if you will. And I have a specific attunement or proclivity towards pre- and perinatal psychology. So here in Belgium, I have my own practice and I see people individually, adults mostly. And I mainly love helping them with pre and perinatal dynamics that are, imprints from birth and before that are still present in their system and keeping them back from experiencing themselves as abundant and eternal beings.
Okay. Thank you, Ward.
And I am Nina, and I mostly focused on painting, like artistic painting, but having had a long journey also and discovering my spirit and my intention for being here.
Yeah.
And those two go very well together, as I love to awaken people's inner children and joy and the magic of life.
Yeah.
So I combine those two. And I just love the mystery and the mystics of this experience on Earth.
Yeah. And thank you for giving expression from a very human perspective and experience, and how you are giving expression to the souls that you are in the specific ways that you do individually. And just as we enter even more deeper into this moment, perhaps also to be very aware of the presence of our highest expression that is simultaneously woven through us. And individually, we are here as cosmic beings of light that is having a human experience and giving expression to both simultaneously. And as each one of you are giving expression to your human gnosis of being an expression thereof, I'm also being witness in this moment how each one of your fields are softening into this space individually. Nina, I first saw yours moving around you, and then Ward, yours just went way into a very expanded place. And I'm very aware as we enter into this co-creation, I'm in deep honor of being in fullness and the wholeness of your presence in both of those expressions. And if I say both, when I refer to our cosmic expression, for me it includes the whole multidimensional nature of who we are throughout all universes and galaxies, and then our solar system into this centeredness of our crystalline essence in the center of our hearts. And as I receive the fullness of that, as I'm a witness to that through each one of you, I'm also seeing a collective field forming through not only the two of you, but mine as well. As I'm very aware, what I've just heard was this moment in and outside of time has already been predestined before we came into any form. A moment where a co-creation can be given expression to, of whatever chooses to flow through us to be given expression to. And as I give expression to those words, I'm just seeing all this fields that is opening through the emanation of each one of our hearts. It almost feels like this pulse, pulse, pulse. And with every pulse and with every breath, the fields are moving through each one of us, where we stay in our individual sovereign expression, and the fields are just moving. You know, they're not merging; they are in their individuality, yet in the co-creative space of being a collective field. And in the center of that field is this deep reverence of the source of all of creation, the heart of Sophia pulsing through in the center of the sphere, and connecting that to the center of each one of our hearts, and connecting that to the center of Gaia Sophia and the center of the cosmos, and all of those fields weaving and breathing as one, as we soften even a bit more into this field, knowing that we are all guided, all held in the presence of the source of all of creation, and always in co-creation with that source. And just breathing that through. Thank you. I remember the very first time that I've seen the two of you was on a posting that you've done where you were on the Isle of Skye. And as I looked at the two of you, there was this deep knowing within me and a deep resonance with the vibrational fields that you emanate. And I resonated deeply with that. And that field was an emanation of purity and of innocence and of almost playfulness, joyousness, and very crystalline in its essence. And I knew from that moment on that there's a co-weaving that has started. And it was only a few months after that that I heard you in Belgium, and me being in South Africa, aware of the co-weaving that was occurring in the two hemispheres.
Yeah.
And it feels like, and my whole body just got goosebumps when I gave expression to that. It feels like there was a co-weaving that has happened through us already from that moment, that has unconsciously, to our knowingness, been preparing us for this moment. That we are now grounding through giving expression to that into the physical, for others to receive the gift of whatever that exactly ease that is moving through each one of you as you share your journey with us. And having said that, on a human level, you have met in physical form, surely at a specific moment. And I would love for you to just share with us how that came about.
Yeah. Uh, well, we had seen each other for already 5 years. Sometimes like in a shop where we both
Bio store.
Yeah, store where we buy our food, and but we crossed paths a lot, but we never really spoke with each other. I remember the first time I saw him, he had like this blue lapis lazuli, and for me then it was a very big like lapis lazuli, because we are, yeah, our town is not so, I don't meet too much people um working with crystals or and but yeah, I think after that moment 5 years went by, and having had a lot of other experiences, I was ready to embrace my multidimensional self because I was tired of only being human in a way that I didn't find the joy anymore. And I said, okay, now it's time for me, or now it's time to follow my own joy, and to receive what I'm supposed to receive in this life, and opening myself for a cosmic family, not knowing then what that meant, or that was what I was doing, but or not so consciously like now. And then only, I think, a week after, I sent Ward a message to finally meet. And then everything very rapidly changed, very, very intensely.
Yeah. And just to add to that, to the before we actually met moments, I remember also seeing Nina in the store and thinking, wow, what a beautiful woman, you know. But apparently she thought like, well, he's a little bit young still, you know. I find that funny because I was still very young in a way.
But yeah.
I'm 5 years younger than Nina, and I was also, I think at that time I was just starting a new training program after my psychology degree, more in energetic therapy, and it just took me through a lot of transformation over the years. And in the same way that you were relating, for me too, it was really at a time where I was ending the training, and I had just this, yeah, how to say, I too felt like I could finally allow myself to receive a bit more than I had allowed myself to do beforehand in my life, right? So that I could step into a partnership that is a true co-creation, and not just from each person's perspective, a one-sided thing. And for me, that's the moment that I met you, or that we met, and maybe we can say that for both of us. But yeah, and then when we did indeed finally meet, I'll say this still. The final year before Nina sent me a message, because she did at some point, but you had an exposition of artwork, and it was back then already very multidimensional artwork, like a lot of dragons and fairies and the like. And I was already very drawn to that, and she had given me like a little card to come to that exposition, but I hadn't had the time, or didn't really want to flow. But that card had been in my backpack for the entire year. And I had just reflecting back on that, from the present, I feel like I had already been,
You were calibrating.
yeah, we were kind of moving towards each other, towards the moment of meeting. Right? And I think the last few times before we met, that became more intense for both of us.
Yeah, each time we saw each other in the shop, it became like, we didn't use a lot of words, but it was like, what is happening? This is something is moving here. And yeah.
A lot of giggles.
Yeah.
That kind of a frequency also.
The light language was very, very important for that also, because once I opened that, I felt like I could finally express myself, like really express my soul could express itself, and we could speak with each other, and it felt like I was home for the first time in a very long time. So it was like Ward was expressing, like, it's okay, I'm here now. We are ready. And yeah, it's a deep honor and blessing to meet your soul family, your true soul family. Like, just the feeling that you are not alone having this experience on earth as a multidimensional being is, I think, is the most precious thing you can experience, or what I am experiencing in this life right now.
Which paradoxically feels very normal and at the same time exhilarating. It's like the most natural thing I've ever done, to just
be together with you.
come together with you and be together. I just put it that way.
But we are so.
And at the same time, speaking for myself, but I think perhaps that's the same for you, to feel like this expansive field of possibility that finally, it's kind of a giant sigh of relief.
Yeah, because you meet you come in contact with your cosmic self. So you also realize that your life here on earth is not the only thing that is there, but on a very deep level. Like, it becomes very, very human, very centered, very grounded, but at the same time very cosmic, and like, okay, whatever comes on our path, we are always together. We have a soul family, we have a cosmic being, so this is not detrimental, or like, it's just one beacon of joy, which is very important in these times right now, to go through everything that we are going through, like the expansion that is happening, and the huge transformations that are taking place at this time.
And I just for a moment want to be a sovereign reflection of the very expression that you are giving to the possibility that is there for every other soul. And that is to know where previously there was this human coming together in a human expression and wanting to be seen and known on a human level, where that has transformed and transcended, as you give expression to it, to where we now have the possibility to have that as a soul, and to immediately know when we not only are in presence of someone that is resonating and start calibrating their and our field, the very knowing that we are seen and heard and experienced as the very cosmic being that we are simultaneously. And as we do, we honoring both the human journey that has brought us here, and simultaneously the multidimensional cosmic beingness remembrance that has also brought us here. And somewhere there in the middle, where those two comes together in the perfect moment of readiness to receive the fullness of our cosmic expression and merging of the two as one expression, that for me is the grounding of a new possibility that all can start attuning to that which is truthful, which is our true nature, and to start seeing that in each other and to resonate with that. We no longer have to look at the physical expression that we think, this is, no, immediately there's this heart resonance that is attuning and, bringing into line and alignment the meeting of. And I love that you're sharing that not the first time that you've seen each other have you actually came together in partnership. You allowed, each one of you allowed, and it's almost like your higher perspectives knew also that both of you were calibrating and preparing and aligning to really be ready by the time that I receive the fullness of Nina or the fullness of Ward, that me too are ready in full, in trusting the appropriate recalibration has taken place so that we can be in that harmonic resonance where that moment occurs, where this knowing is there and so beautifully expressed through light language.
Yeah.
And how important it is to meet each other also on that level. Because for myself, if I think of that, in the past, I always told myself like, oh, well, maybe that's not really necessary. I could be with someone or have a romantic partner. And if they haven't opened or remembered this multidimensionality in themselves, that's all right. And in a way, that is all right, but it's not really what's, um, what works for me, if you will, right?
Okay.
So to meet Nina, also having all of our, I've met people in the past who I also resonate with, even with you, so that, if I speak to you, I'm not just speaking to a human being alone, right? But it's still something different to really align from that space, and not merely from a human perspective. So yeah, that's really important to me as well. Wanted to add something to that.
Well, that I like this feels so natural that it should be the other way around, like when we step into our lives on Earth, that I would like to envision a world where this is so normal to experience, that we don't have to go through so much work, transformational inner work, to finally discover who we are, to finally discover there is a right person, or like in our experience, it's like us two and three now, as I'm pregnant. But that this feels like it should be. It's like it's supposed to be, but like the world would be a very different place if we from baby on would learn that there is something like cosmic resonance, and that there are people with who you can co-create, and it's intended that way.
Even just the idea that you have a soul for many people seems not to be the norm, right? So that there is something beyond our physical expression.
Yes. And I think that is so, so, so important, what you just gave expression to, is that we are on this earth plane, 8 billion of us. And not all 8 billion is awake and ascended and embodied.
Mm.
There is individual experiences of that. And as we start sharing and giving expression to that, we are allowing for the remembrance in someone else. And what I'm hearing from the two of you is when others look at this, there's this remembrance. Oh, so it is possible that this that is in me, that I'm sensing my true nature, my multidimensional expression and cosmic beingness, there's someone that's also, you know, embodying that, and therefore the possibility exists that we can experience ourselves as that with each other in partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful to ground that through your sharing, that is indeed possible. It almost feels like a relationship, a multidimensional cosmic relationship through partnership that you are grounding through giving expression to that so beautifully. And how that looks like in a very human form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of intelligence beneath that, if you will, or beyond that, that is guiding us, but that also guides everybody, you know. So it's not just like a coincidence or a random occurrence or something that is what's the word? Yeah, well, that's not random, you know, that there's intelligence in speaking just for the two of us, the paths that we've walked up till meeting each other. And that I think that really for every human being that is incarnate right now, that intelligence is also continuously informing their lives. Yeah. So yeah, whatever that looks like, I don't know if everybody needs to in this life have a relationship and children that, you know, not everybody has the same purpose, I think, in that sense, um, but to trust that intelligence, just that is what I'm trying to say. Trust that intelligence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as we started the sharing in the center of our presence and the center of our
Right.
being, that intelligence of our cosmic mother father, where some refer to as God, others goddess, you know, source of all of creation, of all love and all light, is that very intelligence, that very field that we are one with.
Mm.
And as our individual soul in oneness with that presence, and therefore oneness with the field, and our soul's expression choosing to have many experiences as we evolved into this moment, but all those experiences and paths preparing us so uniquely so that the fullness of that is received by Nina and the fullness of that being received by Ward in the configuration, if you will, of the very transformation that has occurred, an expansion into our, you know, into that bodies that we are, with that very intelligence that's flowing through us through every breath. And maybe just to bring in that we are continuously, each individual and collectively as humanity, receiving all this beautiful intelligence or wisdom or light or love, whatever word people want to give to it, but source consciousness flowing in oneness already with our soul's expression. So it's us in our most expanded cosmic body and our universal bodies and our galactic bodies and expressions and our souls merging with the source through all of that, that we are meeting each other as. And why I'm bringing that in is as you are sitting there, as I see the two of you, you are simultaneously a human expression, a soul's expression in your galactic dimensionality. And every experience that you are having an expression you are giving to that is in process of recalibrating all those expressions throughout the cosmos. And to bring all of that just through our, through the centeredness of our hearts, and just to be with the experience we are having now, knowing that we've been prepared to be in this resonance, in the partnership that has brought us together through the signs that was there, or the guidance that was there. Seeing each other, noticing the blue stone, noticing the artwork, and feeling each other's fields the whole time until you came into conversation, conscious conversation. And so perhaps to start sharing, now you have met and now you've realized we are now in a partnership, how that started to unfold to the moment that you've just shared about conceiving a child.
With a bang.
Yeah, it was just personally to express or explain. I felt for, I think, 10 years that I was sure I was going to become a mother of a crystalline child. I didn't know it would be a crystalline child, but I did feel it would be a soul that comes into this life to experience life on a different level, just from a different starting point than what I had to go through.
Yeah.
But my human self was worried because it just didn't happen. And at a certain point, just before meeting also, I was like, okay, I was in a different relationship, another one. And I felt like, okay, this, if I want to, or just my human self expressing itself, like if I want to experience that, I will have to make a very big change. And so coming at the same point when we just send each other a message. So I do feel very intuitive. I did feel from the beginning, okay, this is going to be it. Even from the first time we saw each other, I knew he was going to move in very quickly, and that there would be a child. So it wasn't like I think the calibration time was a preparation time also for directly being ready to receive a child.
Yeah, well, I think, well, for my own context, I feel like again, if you're relating to the last 10 years, and I'll do the same. I think it's no coincidence that I went and studied pre and perinatal psychology, for example, right? That's something in that resonates very deeply with me. On the one hand, yes, there's wounding in my own system, my own experiences that I've had from conception to a bit past birth. But at the same time, it's also connecting to a field of incarnating beings, right? And how I just felt how much I can be of service in that. On the one hand, for other people, that it's the first thing then that I think as a therapist. But I think it became more and more apparent for me that it's also through well, our partnership in this case, that there's also the service of bringing one or more children into the world in that way. And then at the same time, in those 10 years, to open my own multidimensionality, to remember the cosmic exploration that I've had, the many lives on Earth where I feel like I've been of service in that specific area of helping children incarnate. I don't know if it was always children with a higher consciousness per se, but that field at least I was always attuned to. And I like it. I love it to do that. And so the first time we met also, I remember, one of the things that happened was that we experienced that we can the way we perceive the non-physical world, let me put it that way, it is to some extent similar, right? That we could just share images with each other, right? And that we can feel into these images. And so one of the things that we immediately noticed, or at least I did, I think you too, but was of a few souls. I will not say how many, or that feels private at this moment. But and I remember thinking then that this was perhaps souls that were in Nina's, because in the first time we met, it was we didn't immediately literally start a relationship. But I figured that, oh, these souls are present in Nina's system, maybe they will come through. It was only later that I realized, like, but these are souls that I've already attuned to, and it's really for the two of us, right?
Yeah.
So I think then it's not that the whole process of then coming together was it was normal and easy in a way, but it was also with a lot of upheaval for both of us.
And human
on a
stuff.
human
On
level.
a human level, it was very intense. So there's this two parts coming together, what I expressed before, like because we have this cosmic connection, we can handle the human intensity of everything. And knowing the purpose is just everything. Like I also have to think about my twin sister who is in another dimension. Her name is Adria, and she's like this sun angel, is very hybrid cosmic being, but she carries this child. It's like she's bringing crystalline children like into this earth plane. And so a lot of things like were like, okay, that's what we have to do. And yeah.
And I can add a few things if I may.
I don't know.
But just to make that a bit more palpable, if you will. Like it was only like 1 or 2 months, maybe not even, when we really felt like, oh, like a child really wants to incarnate with us. And we immediately had a name, just the name just appeared. I don't even remember how it happened, but it was just suddenly there out of nowhere. And well, not out of nowhere, but in our physical incarnation, it seems out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But and I think it's when we met also, there's a lot of different frequencies that one can attune to. So speaking for myself, I could attune to other lives that I've had, to collective experiences that we've had as human beings, but could also connect to other kinds of beings like fairies or dragons or elves, and even extraterrestrial beings. And I have Syrian frequencies and all these different how to say,
Cosmic expressions.
cosmic beings and expressions that are there. And specifically for us, when we met, I felt very much these blue, well, we both did really, blue plasma beings, which we relate to
very deeply.
Which we relate also to the planet Sirius. At least that frequency, it's the same frequency you feel when you connect to a dolphin or a whale. These kinds of feelings come up for me.
Yeah.
And I've said before, I'm not entirely sure if that's the current planet Sirius or a different incarnation of Sophia, but of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And within that, there's this strand or this stream that we call a rose lineage, right? This I went to Glastonbury in the past few years a couple of times, and each time that I went, I could feel not only this rose lineage, but also this soul or these souls wanting to incarnate. And we also went there shortly before we gave conception, so um, I kind of just want to make that a little bit palpable, what these, and the way I speak about it now is really, I think, how we experienced it, uh, just pots of remembrance opening, not per se a super coherent story to tell, all these little strands suddenly finding a aligned, coherent stream, if you will, which led to, well, the conception or conceiving of a child. I don't know if I make myself very coherent, but good enough.
What I just want to also just bring in, Nina, from your perspective, because Ward has so beautifully now given expression to the identification of souls wanting to incarnate, or knowing or connecting or resonating with that and seeing that, and also bringing in the rose lineage. And I'm just curious, Nina, how did you experience that initial connection to the little one? And perhaps if there's any connection to the rose lineage, I just want to see how that weaves together between you.
Well, before I met Ward, I have a lot of Asian background, seeing in different lives or different experiences I had on Earth, and not only in this life. So it was kind of my purpose to, these 10 years I speak about, to discover those realms of Taoism and Buddhism, and see a lot of different things and meeting different aspects of myself to either purify or remember. And but just from the beginning, first Buddhism, I already felt I'm gonna be a mother, or something was there. But then also, I think also I'm just gonna put some things together. Like when I met Ward, it was also the moment I decided, okay, I'm staying in Belgium, or like this region, which for me is, yeah, it's a Christ consciousness, or what we remember in this region, and is something that Ward really embodies, and something that I felt also, okay, what he carries is a very deep resonance and remembrance for me as well. I just never met someone who was so deeply connected to that lineage, so it couldn't come out fully out of me. So there was a whole period of very deep remembrance, and like which always brings a lot of emotion. But like being born in my parents had a flower shop, so like the building is even in the form of a flower. They were always listening to these Celtic kind of rose frequencies. I felt very connected to our grounds, not that you have to be here to be connected to the rose lineage, but just this very Celtic old remembrance, or it's not only Celtic, it's just a way of expressing. And then through a education I did about multidimensional soul integration, I literally integrated this Syrian being, which they work with, they're alchemists, they work with plasma. And so more open for me, like, why do I work with oil paints? Like this connection with always alchemizing things, or bringing these codes to earth literally on paper, in paintings. And this brings me to like, okay, now you're ready to conceive this child. As my whole body was being encoded, or like being going through this remembrance, I just upgraded and was ready to receive her. And it's just also like meeting each other. We see each other in all these different realms. So not only the Syrian expression or the blue plasmic expression. There's the Lyran, or there's so many different expressions, but we always see each other together with children in every realm. So it's kind of obvious that, okay, we're going to do the same here.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, we just had visions of her because she's a girl. So, especially as the blue, we say plasma, but it's more like crystalline dolphin essence in form of, I don't know.
Yeah. I like for me the reflection comes up that indeed what I was expressing is indeed just so many memories opening from different lifetimes and different spaces that we've co-created in together.
Yeah.
And there is something specific to the various fields that we've mentioned that is specific to also the child that is coming.
Yeah.
But yes, I would agree to that. I'm sure good days. Good days. I'm so good. Yeah.
What I love about everything that you've just given expression to, and maybe just to weave in the inherent connection that also exists between us, is that over this past many years, while you're in the process of recalibrating to receive each other in your full expression, there's simultaneously a lot that has been shifting within Gaia. And she's also simultaneously, as we've been through our individual recalibrations, so has Gaia been through her recalibration on all levels of her being. And that recalibration is what I've been connected to throughout my journey, to not only prepare and be in communion with the very essence of Gaia, but also to give expression to what she's experiencing, and through the guidance of Sophia. So it was always how, as I unified with my full nature with Sophia, I started receiving this guidance of what was also occurring simultaneously in Gaia, and how as we are ascending, she's ascending into her most exquisite crystalline expression. And why I'm sharing that is it's been over this last 10, 20 years where many star seeds and light workers have been in co-creation with Gaia, preparing for this whole true earth architecture to emerge, a true earth where that was always there, and the original intention of the creation of earth to be this place that is not only restored to the original intention and the sovereignty and the crystalline nature thereof, but also to become a home for all of us to experience ourselves as that, and simultaneously to allow for new Christed childs to be born through, and therefore receive as they go through their co-weaving with Sophia in each one of the individual wombs that they are forming. They come here now with the knowing that it is not only safe to be on Gaia Sophia in her ascended crystalline expression, but that the parents that we choose is also ascended and embodied to and recalibrated to such an extent to prepare for the very crystalline weaving that is occurring within. And I find it so beautiful that I can be a witness. No, I don't find it only beautiful. I actually feel deeply honored that I can be a sovereign witness to your expression, to your journey, to your individual paths and your path together. as a example, although example doesn't feel right, as a truthful expression of what is indeed possible. So as Gaia Sophia is now in her crystalline expression, I'm also seeing all those dolphins and whales in the very plasmic crystalline waters of her being, because that's what I'm connected to in this land around me, and have been, grounding through me for quite some time. And to know that all the different phases and stages of all the different star seeds and light workers and all the work and co-weaving and service that they've providing to Sophia, Gaia, to come into her expression, is now at a place where we can actually experience and be witness to that occurring in the physical, through you giving expression to that very experience that everybody was waiting for, so to speak, because there was this feeling in the field across many of people currently incarnated. When will there be a moment where it will be safe for us to actually give birth to crystalline beings, directly in connection with source, not needing to go through any form of forgetting? They already in full remembrance. And so beautiful that the waters or the womb of Gaia Sophia in her most crystalline emanation has been awaiting for all those Christed children to now start being birthed onto earth. And I just want to take a moment to honor both of you and the paths that you've been on, the journeys that has brought you into this very moment, to know who you are as cosmic beings, simultaneously having a very human experience while in the process of co-creating a crystalline expression that has chosen you as her parents to come into this experience of true earth, the very templates that you are grounding through your relationship and through your co-weaving of her. And what an honor for us to receive the fullness of what that is. Just for a moment, if you process that, that really for me is an indication of the ascended nature, not only of us individually, but also that of Gaia Sophia, and the divine humans that we truly are, to start experiencing that as you are in the process of moving into preparing a crystalline home for this very crystalline child to be birthed into physical form. And I'm curious how that transformation in the co-creation of your home has started for you when you realize that you indeed have now co-created a daughter.
Well, before we go into that, I would just like to still, I just want to say I love that you bring in that field again, because I really don't feel like we're doing this in a vacuum. I feel like I don't know any other people, or maybe I do a few, but who are bringing in crystalline children at the same time right now. But if you, you know, what you just spoke out for me, it just opens this whole field where I can see the whole of Gaia Sophia lights just, moving in, if you will. So yeah, that there's a gathering, to use that word again, of people of souls who have been wanting to incarnate, crystalline souls who have been wanting to incarnate as a group, really, almost, you know. And I don't know, I just wanted to stay with that for another minute, because it touches me to think of that.
And as I hear you and receive that, your word and the vibration thereof, I immediately just go back into that whole field, because the gnosis of my being through that which I see and are a witness to is all this souls in their galactic expression that is in the different galaxies, and then more specifically in our Milky Way galaxy. They're waiting. They've been waiting for Gaia to become her crystalline expression and to be known by all as Gaia Sophia. And so two things is in my remembrance. Firstly, that she is the benevolent steward of crystalline expression for our solar system, and therefore providing this very sovereign home for all souls that's coming in, and all of us that's been moving through these individual paths and collectively as groups. The service that we've been was to ensure the sovereignty of all that is here, through not only through our own experience, but through the purity. So puritizing everything that we are coming into contact with, to ensure that the very nature of our experience is not only thoughts, but it is a felt, grounded experience, like my home. Everything in this home is from crystalline and pristine expression that is a reflection on a journey that has brought me here, of a service that I've been in service to the sovereignty of Gaia Sophia, and has, just like you have, and just like many, many other have, been preparing for this very moment, knowing that we are walking these individual paths so that we can come into not only our crystalline expression, but in doing so, creating this crystalline communities, so that souls that comes in already come into this field, that it is not only a field anymore, it is an embodied lived experience that's already here. And the more we do that, and the more we share it with each other, all that is not in alignment with that is exactly as we know that's happening in the world at large, is just falling apart. And because there's this recognition and the gnosis and the honoring of it being so. And as we expand again out to the field, all these different souls choosing those partners that is in co-creation of those crystalline families and partnerships and homes. Because the ultimate home that's already provided to all the different homes and communities to come is Gaia Sophia.
Yeah. I think also, as we're going to say something about the home we're creating, as a little step before, I just want to mention how when we actually conceived and then knew that we were pregnant, we hadn't met for a long time yet, still, right? So it just unfolded naturally that we did like a tour of our families. You know, I think even before that, we went to meet everybody. I went to meet Nina's.
Just before, yeah.
Before, yeah. So I went to meet Nina's parents, she mine, and we went to see my grandfather and her grandparents and so on. And it was interesting to feel how that went also very natural, you know. Like I felt at home, speaking for myself.
Yeah.
I think that
Also,
was your
yeah.
experience too, in the family systems, right? And then when we knew that we conceived and we went to spread the news, you will.
This happened on a fight. We moved in together, meet each other's family on a 3 month or
Yeah.
2 month time.
3 months.
3 months. And then at 5 months,
Well, beginning of the 6th month, I think.
we were pregnant.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's also at the beginning of our relationship, I met you, there was a reset. Just want to also like a deep gratitude for all the people that have supported us through this journey, because without you, without Janine, without all these other powerful beings, it wouldn't have been possible. So knowing that we are doing this collectively already, also our family, I mean, they are super supportive.
And that's what I wanted to say. If we about, you know, creating a home, it's not something we're doing in a vacuum either. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's that's our meeting and our fields together, but also the little one, you
Yeah.
know. We're all, everybody's like helpful. Doesn't matter if you if our families look at her as a crystalline child or as just a physical child, if you will,
Exactly.
something in their beings is stirred. And I don't
Exactly.
know, I would think that I would hope that that goes for all children. But there's for me something in there that is just,
It's
it happens in a more conscious, slow, aligned way um, than I have felt elsewhere, if you will. Right? So that to me is it's difference.
it's different. It's like we are co-creating the crystalline family, not
Mm.
only as us three, but our own family systems are going through such intense, beautiful transformations on a very in the human experience, very fast. It's funny you say it's very slow and conscious, which
Well,
it feels like,
yeah.
but at the same time, there's this super fast shift
Yeah.
happening to all of us. Not saying that we it's a lot of work on the on the
Yeah.
human physical level. It has been wow, super intense. Also the pregnancy,
Yeah.
but at the same time we are being supported on so many levels and receiving so much love and
Yeah.
um,
I,
just before being able to create a physical home because
yeah.
I've lived here for when I was 3 years old. It's an old farm that was in the family, and I've been here for 34 years, very, very annoyed by the buildings. Yeah.
But when you were 3 years, you're not
No,
37 now,
no, I'm yeah.
huh? I know, I'm
Yeah.
joking, sorry.
Um,
But for all this links, for all the whole length of years that you've been here.
yeah, because of it's a 300-year-old building, so it has been through a lot. Uh, not one.
Many births also.
Many births also from the family, yeah.
Yeah.
But now finally we are transforming it, but it's not possible without the help of everyone.
Yeah.
Saying you bringing in crystalline codes or our parents being so supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally helping us move stones that were still in one of the rooms out of the
Yeah.
space.
I think
Yeah.
what's so important, what you are giving expression to now, is for those that is watching that know their crystalline essence and are in relationship and in resonance with their crystalline partner, to know that it's okay to do so while we are still in our community that's not ascended yet, but is still in the process of awakening. Because it feels like our service lies in just being who we are. And this emanation of innocence and purity and sovereignty and love, the depths of love and the joy that we feel and the crystalline vibrational resonance, they are feeling it. All of us in my community, where I am and where you are, everywhere, they
Mhm.
are through our grounded presence receiving all of this as their souls has also chosen to be, around us. And this is how we are supporting each other to move into our, into our truth of who we truly are and the fullness of that, while still moving the stones around, having a very human experience as a
Mm.
cosmic being, but always in co-creation for the relationship, the partnership, the home, and the community that you are co-creating so powerfully and grounding that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. And so you're on the process. I'm hearing there's a lot of shifts that the building also have been through. And
Yeah.
there's a preparation for the coming of the little one that is occurring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't have unlimited funds, so we had to make choices in what we what parts of the building we could renovate. And then the floors were the
Ground, yeah.
most obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
So literally putting in new floors
New
and probably still a
foundations.
roof light as well. So, but just the floor and the sky, that's really an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Are the first things that need to be changed. Yeah. So I think that's I've never reflected on it like that. But
Foundations.
yeah, but both the cosmic foundations and the earthly foundations to be
in alignment with each other.
Yeah. It almost feels like the cosmic foundation is becoming the earthly foundation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, in a way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Grounding your presence there fully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And perhaps a moment to reflect on how your relationship with each other and with the little one has started to move or shift or transform or expand because of a presence.
Well, I think I feel like in order to talk about that first, I also feel like the bringing in the pregnancy and actually the literal physical forming of her, because for both of us, I mean, I for me maybe a little bit more, but you being a witness and a partner, going through everything together, because he's the most. I'm so lucky to have Ward as a masculine expression, because I never felt like I'm doing this alone, because you can see that a lot. But so we were at the point we were ready to conceive, but I felt like there was still some remainings, from the old system also present in our physical bodies. And she came in and it was like, bam, and taking, just to make it very physical, like taking out everything that's not in alignment with her. So I vomited like for 6 months in intense amount. And it was like a whole physical, I feel like, scan, and everything that didn't align had to go out. Yeah. And that there were a lot of things that we went through together, because me having the experiences, seeing all the things that didn't resonate with her light, being reflected in him and relate, because that's what relationships do. You are a mirror for each other when you still need to be mirrors. And so for me, it brought us to such a deep level of love, that it's like, such a strong foundation for her. To be her, to actually be here. So we were both empowered also, but in a very intense human way.
I would say very much confronted again with all the parts of ourselves where we still felt like we're not enough. It's this basic thing we all go through as we incarnate the life in this moment. So again, on a deeper level, as we've done before in the last couple of years, again, that confrontation with, do you really, really love yourself, love, and therefore everybody around you,
do you really
planet?
love everyone?
Or are you still somewhere scared that I'm not good enough and that I need to do more to keep this beautiful alignment, this relationship, this life really in this moment,
Trusting. And indeed also like the expansion of compassion for all of our family, all of the humankind, so we are able to move in this world that is not crystalline yet, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the best teachers for that is our own perception of how we receive people, and how do you react to that? Do you give, are you angry because nothing is perfect, or are you happy within yourself and trusting the intelligence of everything that is, and knowing that she also knows where she is right now. So yeah.
So then I think we're answering that question, like what has changed between us since we know that she's coming. Like we've just had to really become less afraid, you know, in order to be able to receive her, or be able to, you know, that's co-creation between the three of us, that for her to have the life that she set out for herself, you know, we've agreed to change some of the ways that we've learned to perceive ourselves in the world, you know, this wound is not being enough. So at the same time as it's been fast and exhilarating and superb, it's also been deeply confronting, sometimes painful, and but also really compassionate. Yeah, in the end. Yeah, I don't know.
Deeply compassionate. Yeah.
Well, we always have to go back, I think, to a
Yeah.
place of compassion, to a place of accepting our humanity, even though we may feel the possibilities that are in the future timeline of Gaia Sophia's evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a moment, I actually saw the little one in her crystalline essence, emanating this compassion, as if this is my true nature. I am compassion. I am immaculate. I am the purest form of love. I am crystalline. And emanating that out in support for the relationship. And yeah, isn't it beautiful that she's already so present? And I'm curious how your relationship with her is, or perhaps has shifted since you actually brought her in.
I'm going to be very compassionate to our cat, who is meowing at the door to just come in and let her in.
I love that.
No, she can come in and come over as she likes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, it's coming here, not on the screen a little.
I feel like bringing like my huge, huge, deep wish to give children, or like every soul, the ability to grow into let her be what she is, or like that her essence may, how you say, that we are not expecting things from her, you know, that she has to fit in, and just give her the room to co-create with us, and be her facilitators in that way. So to me, she's just part of us and an individual being. I'm sure we have no idea. we can see images of what life might bring us, but and so my relationship to her is like she's this crystalline blue child who we are so blessed to be able to witness, and and to hold. Yeah, I don't know. It's still so. She's in my belly. And she moves a lot, and she's here, but she just feels like a part of us, and it's a co-creation. So I don't know.
I forgot the question. Bringing our cat, and I forgot a bit what.
So Red asked how our relationship with her changed.
Since that first time that you sensed her
Right.
choosing to come in through the very homes of your being.
Well, she's become much more physical also.
Yeah.
I remember having these images also in the beginning, how I could just, I saw her light structures just mapping out onto what we would call the zygote, you know, the coming together of sperm and an egg cell. And just seeing how she was evolving into the structure, you know, how her crystalline structure was just, I don't know, I remember it as all these threads coming out and forming various kinds of geometrical figures.
Yeah.
I drew a few of them. I don't have them close to go get them right now, but
Yeah.
I think for the first 3 or 4 months, that was really, I could follow that process of her becoming more physical.
Yeah.
And then since then, since 5 or 6 months, so we're now at the 7.5
Almost
month,
8, yeah.
almost 8 months.
Yeah.
I feel like she's as
She's
much as
here.
she's had this phase of being a bit more still, a bit more contracted and in her own space, where I too couldn't fully well, I could always connect to her, but she was just nothing, you know, she wasn't showing me anything or trying to grab our attention, if you will. And now she's really physical, so she's literally physically active in Nina's belly, you know. So but she's also, say, her higher self, if you will, you know. Also, there's been many moments where I was afraid of many, you know, there's a lot of fear fields when you go through a pregnancy, it appears. And but there's always this part of her that's telling me like, no, I'm coming. There's no, you know, I've already organized this, so don't you worry.
I love
And
that.
I really trust her, you know. I've if anything, I've come to trust her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust this whole happening. Trusting all the connections that have been made, and knowing that she knows so much more than we do.
And how do you communicate with her?
Telepathically.
Yeah, for me, that's mostly in
Telep
images.
Yeah.
It's not so much that I literally hear a voice or so, but the voice is like embedded in the images, if you will.
Yes.
Like some people can externally, if they look at the painting, hear the painting, you know? So it's like that, but in an inner experience.
Yeah. To hear the resonance of her light body.
Yeah.
Right.
And attuning to it.
Yeah, and in a way that could sometimes sound like a voice, or it seems like a voice, but it's like, I don't know, it's all at once. So
And
is that the same
feeling
for
her.
you?
Yeah, to me it's through feeling and also hearing and touching and just being with her and co-creating. I just the co-creating always comes, like just our higher selves connecting for, you know, some things that I that come through me are like they I'm speaking, but I'm speaking, she's speaking, like things that I want or things that I say that I think that where does that come from? I never that's not Nina who is communicating right now, and she's very clear in what she wants. So yeah.
More food.
Maybe to describe a bit, how do you know that? So that we can just hear the expression of it, that she's clear in her expression towards you, what she wants.
It's for me, if intuition, maybe it's not the word doesn't fit the wholeness of it, but it's like, yeah, just feeling her. It's so obvious she's not me, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like being very aware of, it's the same with like with the animals, because now they cannot speak. I mean, they have a different way of communicating. So just reading and feeling them, what they need, what they want, what they are transmitting on a very energetic level,
Yeah.
and just feeling yeah, seeing her visions, receiving her visions.
It's really, I think, difficult at some point to transmit that in words because it's just like this. I'm speaking in general terms now, but at some point, I feel like, speaking for myself, I developed this sense of if I hear a voice in my mind, it's really the same. It's I hear my own thoughts in the way I always, if you would say it's a voice, it's always the same voice.
Mm.
However, there's this subtle knowing of when is it something that I, as I experience myself, am thinking,
Mm.
or is another being communicating itself through me. And whether that's a baby or another being could be.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a subtlety to it.
I think it's necessary also to be able to do that in order to grow or raise a child coming from source in the way that humanity works now.
Yeah.
As there's many structures that do not resonate with the highest frequency of us all.
Yeah.
And it feels important to be able to communicate telepathically, or to be able to feel and sense her and know what she wants,
Yeah.
and not what society wants from her, or to fit in, you know?
Yeah.
Just thinking about the whole medical system, or how we treat disease, or because we are very much in the middle of that here. It's like, so that is also what me as a mother excites me a lot, to be able to finally see a child, or like witness a child who will be felt, or at least I think I will be able to feel her, and know, or have this, receive the visions and the messages of what she needs, if she's not able to say herself yet, like in these early stages as well. And that she learns to express her needs as well. And yeah.
I'm laughing the whole time because I'm just envisioning like like that she's showing me, if she would have, if when once she's born, that she's showing me other life she's had, and then suddenly the thought changes to I have to poop, and then take my diaper, this kind of yeah, very human and a divine expression, if you will.
I
Yeah.
think it will be more difficult.
Well, let's see.
Mm.
And just maybe as we expand back into the greater field that we are in the presence and unification with Sophia, through each one of us individually, through you, Ward, through you, Nina, through the little one, through me, and collectively through all of us simultaneously. Perhaps a question to start moving to close through our conversation that we just had, and to conclude that, is how do you process or integrate or become present to the knowing that the little one is born in clear knowing with her direct connection to source? How do you become fully present to that knowing?
It's in a way that sounds like a very complicated question, which to me is also a given. You know, it's not really difficult. It's just, I don't, yeah.
I think it's
Hmm?
it's okay.
No, go on, please.
To me, it feels I don't want to, because I know I had this connection myself, and although I had to go through so much to see, witness to whatever it was I was doing, but I feel like the one thing present that I always had was my connection to source. So it kind of also feels obvious, and it feels like, oh, that's why I'm here for. Finally,
Yes.
I'm ready, because now I'm aware of that is what has always been present. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at some point it's integrated in ourselves, or again, I'll just speak from my own perspective that at some point, you know, it's just obvious and a given for me that I have a soul, and this whole soul's, or this I am presence that has incarnated many times, that is a divine being and not only this human expression, also this human expression, very much this human expression, but also yeah, a divine being, you know, an eternal being. That's a good word, I think.
Exactly.
And as I feel like, as to the extent I may have questions about, you know, what lives have I had? How has that whole evolution come about? You know, but it's just a given that I do have an I am presence, you know, that there is this eternal aspect. And because that's such a given in me, I think in us, it's also a given for her, you know.
Yeah.
In us at least, she will not encounter somebody
It's
who's
blind.
blind about
Yeah.
that, indeed.
Exactly.
And I think that's really the only thing that's needed, you know.
Yeah.
There's the willingness also to the willingness to look beyond what is occurring in the human relationship, because that's also the base of our relationship. Although we connect so deeply on a cosmic level, our human selves have aspects that have difficulty connecting with each other because of the wounds we've been through. Yeah,
Of course.
segments of that have difficulties of connecting to the world, to Gaia, to my parents. But all of that is like, has already shifted so much with her being in our presence. But I think having the awareness of both, and the willingness to create this cosmic family, and this new way of new old way, because to me it feels like how it was intended, to have this beautiful, natural, healthy family who thrives and who supports each other in their life purpose here on Earth, creating a beautiful grid of cosmic crystalline light, makes all the human aspects like soften also everything in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. How beautiful to know that as the eternal cosmic crystalline light beings that we are, and always known ourselves to be, and just ever so gradually forgetting here and there, and remembering and forgetting again, and then remembering more fully every time, that has prepared us to not only be that, and therefore grounding the gnosis thereof, but also to start seeing that as a family and a community template almost, if you will, through the way that we interact with each other and the relationship we have with each other. And it, as you say, it feels so familiar because it's always been this way. It was just those small forgetfulnesses that's been a little bit in the way. But to fully know that we can now fully be that, and for her to be received in that full gnosis of her already knowing that, and for you to start enjoying the joyousness of your true nature through her, as she's reflecting that to you in every moment, is such a absolute gift to the whole world.
Yeah. And I just feel like expressing, if we are able to experience this on Earth in humanity, I think everyone wants to become human
Exactly.
at some point, because it feels like, yeah, that's why we are human, you know, to experience both, because we have a human body, human expression, and then this playfulness, the dolphins, yeah, in relationship to Gaia.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I think it's just to bring that to a broader perspective. It seems to me like we've needed this forgetfulness to really become self-conscious, right? To really have that reflection of being an individual, but also being an individual I am presence. But I think we've passed the point now where people talk about that the whole time, right? That we're ascending and again. So it makes total sense to me that, as we're receiving a child who is still aware of herself and source, and many other people do, that this reflecting process, where we reflect back her divinity, she reflects back our divinity, it becomes a snowball, I think, that propels us into, well,
the new Earth architecture.
Well, let's put it that way, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone that's watching this then also know this truth, and everybody in your community and in Belgium and around you that is, feeling that vibrational field through your presence and emanation. I think all of that together is supporting all of humanity to rise harmonically together, to know that this is indeed a place that all beings can come to experience themselves in the sovereign and crystalline nature of our physicalized expressions and our homes and our communities, that it indeed is the time for that to be so now for all of us.
Yeah.
And they have always been that way, but
Exactly.
now we can do it in a conscious way again.
Yeah, and we can see it. It's visible. It's much more, but it feels more visible, and we hear it, we see it, we know it, we experience it. And having said that, perhaps just as a means of moving to a place of comfortableness in all that was shared, if there's perhaps something that still needs to express itself or wants to flow through from your sides.
Well, for me, it's more like in relation to you, so that I just feel like without you, it wouldn't have been possible. And I really want to thank you from a very deep place, like for all that you have been through this journey for us. Yeah, very deeply connected to her and to us. And thank you for being a witness and helping to build this crystalline home.
Being a part of our family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has been my greatest honor. As I shared there at the beginning, the first time I saw the two of you in physical form, because we've also known each other or are knowing each other in our cosmic expression. But when I saw you in physical form, I already started sensing and feeling into her weaving. And for me, the greatest honor that I've had for many years was to be a witness to all that you've been through and all that you've shared, and now given expression to in a way and a place where others can experience not only the Immaculate Conception of this crystalline little one that's being co-woven through the grace of Sophia in you and through you, but through conscious choice and conscious relationship, that it is indeed possible for all to know this as a felt experience for themselves. So thank you for every word expressed, for every vibrational frequency that has emanated through each one of those words, and through all the words that wasn't given expression to, for the greatest gift you've given, I believe, to many, to know that indeed it's possible to be a cosmic family and give birth to crystalline children in the full gnosis thereof, consciously.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, that may be because it's the second time I feel it in my body during this conversation. Like the fear to birth a crystalline child is real. I felt it. I felt very unsafe or afraid to birth a crystalline child. And I'm deeply honored that we have made it, that it feels like we're doing it. It is, the field is free, is clear for it. We are the grid is like, the supportive grid is big enough for it to happen. And one of the messages I received also just before her conception was from a friend who said, "It's not you. It's not because of you that your child is not coming yet. It is because of the grid needs to be ready for them." And that was the biggest relief for me to hear. And then shortly after that, it happened. It might be a message for some people who are watching. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Time is an illusion. And yeah.
Thank you. That is good.
Everything at the divine time.
Yeah, and still everything at the right time.
Lord, maybe last few words from your side.
I only feel thank you. And I don't know. Peace be with us all. Thank you, Sandy Sutataikon.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah, just once again, for the three of you, it would be my even greater honor, even a few months' time, perhaps we can continue this conversation as the little one is already then in form expression, to perhaps just share with us again how that has moved through and been grounded through you. And thank you for being here, for sharing so openly, so freely, from both your human and your crystalline expression, the path that has drawn you together and prepared you to give expression to all that you have done and all that you've been through, that has brought you into this moment. And then from this moment of forward, may you receive the holding of Sophia and feel that holding even more fully and consistently and continuously as you move through this next few weeks until she decide which perfect moment to come into this world. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone for being with us today. It's been a great honor to share this moment with you, and until next time, much love.
Bye.